let's look at Rocket Lab real quick. So let's look at the earnings. This is sort of what they reported. They beat revenue just barely, or basically we can say met, because it was a less than 1% beat, and they met EPS expectations of -9 cents. So nothing spectacular in terms of beat, but it is spectacular in terms of growth relative to the previous year. And they guided between 180 to $200 million for next 185 to 200 million for next quarter's revenue, whereas the estimate was about 190 million. So the guide that they provided for next quarter's revenue is pretty substantially greater. Another thing that they said on the call was that their backlog is now roughly $1.8 billion backlog of satellite tech and launch services, most of which is actually satellite technologies that they can deliver on even without Neutron coming online. So much positive there. And this company continues to grow. Look at this sort of like revenue growth chart. It's just fantastic. Awesome. You can kind of see this is their next quarter's estimate, 190. And they're probably going to easily beat that. Now, the reason there was one negative piece of information in their report, which was a pretty big deal, which is that if you remember, their Neutron test actually had a failure, and that failure, right? The tank failure, that failure was something that was unexpected, and it caused them to sort of like stop everything, go back and reevaluate a whole bunch of things, and that has definitively now delayed the Neutron program to where they had guided that previously that they expect to have the first launch of Neutron to be in the first half of 2026. Now they're hoping to have the launch by the end of 2026. So the market's reaction, which was negative the day after they reported, was largely probably due to the Neutron delay. Company continues to be on solid footing. Its satellite services continues to be growing rapidly, and they're just putting all the pieces together. Neutron continues to come along as well, but this delay is something that the market decided was very negative. And, from a long-term investor's perspective, I continue to be extremely bullish. It doesn't concern me in any way. So would I want the Neutron to launch sooner? Obviously, but it's not concerning because there's so much space and satellite revenue opportunity in the future that I think this minor delay is not going to even matter.
Right. And this is a big if, but if they're able to have a successful first launch where they're not blowing up the rocket, that would be huge. So
exactly. And this is an expectation that Pete has set out. So it is something that they want to make sure that it doesn't blow up, right? So that's why they sort of stopped everything and went back and reevaluated everything. Peter back, sorry.
One other announcement that they made that I liked seeing was their silicon solar arrays, where they're basically like setting up Rocket Lab. They're putting Rocket Lab in the position to power potential data centers in space, which I know we're hearing a lot about from Elon. And we'll see if this is feasible or not. But I like that they're kind of attacking every different angle of space that they can.
They have a lot of technology that would have to be used in those data centers outside of SpaceX. SpaceX has their own technology, but then if anybody else wants to also do that, they would need some of Rocket Lab's technology to be able to do that. They're definitely in a good position for all of that.